When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gain, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I am here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gain.
Cass, I almost said I'm here with Ginny Gain. Oh my goodness. All right.
I mean, that's accurate.
It's also accurate. So we have a really fun topic for you guys today. We're going to talk about when those big manifestations feel far away. What's actually happening there? Yeah.
Oh, I love this. And I think we have really good examples. I see this all the time, actually, in my own life. Now that I've been doing this for a long time. And I see it with my clients,
gal.
too.
Old.
It's funny.
What are you excited about, Cass?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to rotate my excitements. But right now I'm really excited about training new coaches and empowering them to connect with more and more people to serve. And I'm excited that this has opened up so that I can serve even more people. And it just feels so good. And it feels even better. I was doing one of my assignments today. It's usually when we're on here. And I was and I was going through, just how my future self has been showing up and the whispers about doing this and how I had this shift, which this might play into our topic today, but I just recently had this big shift about a story that I had been telling, and the inspiration to change it came. And I was like, oh yeah. And it was cool. It was so cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
How about you?
Well, I feel excited about my clients too. I have some new ones coming in, and I'm excited about the ones that are finishing up with me or continuing on to the next phase. And the most exciting part is being a part of their journeys. There's such a diversity in them and their desires and our conversations and our coaching and their growth, and it's so awesome to be a part of it. I really feel alive with what I get to do. So I'm excited about that and feeling that.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing.
All right. So where do we want to start with our topic?
So I think I always knew this, or in some ways. So for those of you listening, and I actually added up, it was less than 5 years. Is that where we're going to start? Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of my clients feel like this, oh, it's so far away. It still feels far away. I'm doing all the work, but there's but what happens is they don't see it, so it feels far away.
Yes, wait, that is so huge. I just want to highlight that. That's what we're talking about when you've been doing the work and it feels like a long time and it's still not here, or it feels far away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it feels far away, but the thing about it is far away until it shows up. It is both far away and right around the corner at the same time. And I'm going to use the around the corner analogy, right? So if you're half a block from a corner, you see, and I'm going to use relationships because I'm going to touch on that today. So let's say your person, love of your life, is around the corner. But as you're walking that straight part of the block, for blocks, and I'm thinking of downtown Denver when you can see, so imagine a place where you can see a lot of blocks, you can't see them. They are not there. And so that it feels very far away until you get to the corner and you're inspired to turn left and you run right into them.
Yeah. It's so true. When I think about how I was feeling before I met Lisa, and I think this is a good analogy too, because sometimes I want to hear your thoughts on this, Cass.
Yeah.
We think that manifesting is about like practicing the feeling enough so that you know it and you don't doubt it, which is true, but there's still an element of you don't know it until you don't actually know it until it's right in front of you. And I think that's the far away part that we like often give too much attention to, but that's that feeling.
Yeah. And I agree a lot of people do that. And I think, just based on personal experience, that you can shift that. There is a way. And I will say this, I don't think it stops you. So I don't think it matters. I think it only matters because of how you feel. If it's very uncomfortable for it to feel far away, you might want to, there are ways to step into more of
Feeling like
knowing and trusting and feeling like it's there,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking before I met Lisa, I felt exactly that. Is like I didn't see it coming. Like, yes, I'd been practicing the feeling and done lots of all the work we do, but it wasn't until like it's almost like I wasn't planning to meet my life partner. Like, but then
right.
then she showed up.
Yes.
And so that's very true. How that happens. Yeah.
Mhm. And I think being like, right in the, like a lot of it with you, having a different view is that there were things that were getting you ready that you didn't even know. Like, again, you didn't even know you were going to turn that corner and there she was going to be. But there were still things that you weren't seeking out. Because I know this is one of the things we want to touch on in this episode is it's not that you're doing anything wrong.
Yes.
You weren't seeking out anything to do, but the things that you needed were kind of coming, and the lessons and the opportunities for growth.
Yes. I think being on this pregnancy journey now, something I've really embraced is that so when I see myself here and I'm like, okay, I'm doing lots of right things and it's not here yet, which means like it's not in full alignment yet, but it doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong. And it's okay that there's a gap in that alignment, that the space, like that it's not fully here yet. And I don't have to figure out how to get there. Like, I think that's the biggest thing is like being in this place of, I love where I am. It's okay. I can see and acknowledge it's not here, which means, okay, and this is how I say it. I know you do it different, Cass, but I'm not in full alignment with it yet, but that's okay. I don't need to consciously fix that gap. It will close itself by me being who I am, by me choosing the thought that I am in the perfect place and being the woman I want to be.
Yes. And so what I was going to say was, you don't experience is often what gives you alignment. So yes, we teach this and
so
we teach
often.
We teach all the stuff in the beginning, and I will say, like, 80% of alignment is on you, right? Like, it's the things that you do, it's the thoughts, it's the practicing, it's scripting, it's anything that we talk about here, right? Getting in alignment. But that last 20% is very often things lining up that are not your concern. Things lining up for you, right? It's the chess pieces being moved around by the universe, and there's nothing for you to do except for be patient. And so that alignment is happening, and experience creates that alignment. And sometimes only experience creates alignment. It is, oh, we need to have this conversation, or that I didn't know, so I couldn't have gone and got into alignment with it. But it comes up. Go ahead.
It's exactly what's happened. It's exactly what's been unfolding. I didn't even know I had resistance on this path until I walked into the fertility office. Then I'm like, this does not feel good. And then, so through that experience, I was able to grow and come more into alignment in areas I didn't even know I had. And just like you were mentioning, yeah, we've had conversations, we've had clarity come about, but it's I don't know how else to say it other than I couldn't have come into alignment without the process. And I wasn't trying to define the process or plan it or choose it. I was just going along, but it was through it. It's sometimes reflecting back, but just experiencing it. It's like reminds me of when we set a boundary in relationships or life. Like we don't understand our own confidence or power until we've done that, until we do that. It's like you get the shifts through the actions that you're taking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not the actions of push, like even though Jenny used action, not the thing I think I should go out and do, but the things I'm doing as I move myself forward, as I live life, because you're manifesting, but the whole point of it is to live.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to live into alignment.
That is an amazing way to put it. And to trust that we say this all the time, like trust the unfolding and trust the path, but I love that. Like you live into alignment and it comes naturally as you live.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and I'll go back just for listeners who are like, have their like analytical, like, okay, how do I put together what they're saying? So I think these are fair numbers. You tell me if you have a different, like that 80% is the things that you do, like from start to finish. Intention, right? Intention, I want to find the love of my life. You get clear about what you want. You start scripting. You step into it. You become the woman who can have that or the man who can have that. You keep going and you get to that 80% mark, and 20% is living out experiences that you need to finalize that becoming, which finalizes the alignment.
Yeah. And I love those numbers. I've never heard of it, but I do agree with that. Would you say
I just made them up.
Okay.
Based on experience and based on what makes sense to me is like, we can't push it all the way. And I think we've both come to that place, right?
Yeah. So would you say like when you feel confident in who you are and you're fully being the woman or man you want to be, you're at that 80%?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. And then so your work is to stay at that 80% and let the rest come in. And I think that's the part. So that's why it feels far, but because you're being the 80 that let's say you're responsible for, it feels close. But then because if you're looking at the 20% that's not there, it feels far. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And that 20%, again, like, let's just, I don't know, let's say, I'm trying to think of years. So maybe if it took me, I don't know if my math is right on the spot, but like, let's say that I had been scripting the love of my life in that relationship. It happened in 3 to 4 years. I didn't have a chance to like go, but so I've been doing that work for, let's say 3 for an easy, right? 3 years. I've been living into that place. I've been coming to that 80%. The other 20% doesn't have to take as much time as that.
Yeah.
But it often feels like that because there's nothing left to do. When you get to that place where there's nothing left to do but live, which is definitely where I had been for a long time in my relationship, I knew. And you guys have heard this, right? People, like get online. My person's not online. Do this. Like there was nothing left to do for me to get into alignment. Everything else was working out. And I just needed to live and let that other 20% align. But it does feel far away because it feels good to be getting in alignment because you're in action of some sort, even when we're relaxing intentionally, right? You're in action. You're doing the thing to get there. And that feels really good. And sitting and allowing that other 20% to come, it can feel good. And it is an amazing place to be if you can get to the feel good in it. If you can release that and you can trust, I'm good. I'm just allowing that 20% to come together and I can feel good now. I don't have to worry.
Yeah. Something just clicked when you said that. So when one of the kind of concepts I use is the thing that gives us satisfaction in life is knowing we're moving towards something we want, right? That's where we get satisfaction. And so when we are building that 80%, and firstly, it satisfies our mind's desire to be doing things because we have things to do that are giving us results. And so that when we get to that 80% and then when that stops, been getting satisfaction and seeing the growth and doing the work and feeling the shifts and all these things. And then that once we get to that 80, it's a new experience. It's a new level of manifesting. And it, like Cass and I have talked about, requires different skills and practices than what got you there.
Yes, I'm going to repeat that. After you get to the 80%, it requires different skills and practices than what got you there. And that doesn't mean that you stop doing everything you were doing. Let me clarify. It doesn't mean just like throw all the things out. It means there are skills and practices that really are more about living than doing. But they are skills because we don't know, like Jenny just said, like our brain likes that satisfaction. And so it is a skill to learn to not be chasing that satisfaction in this 20%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So bringing it back to the feels near and far part. So when I think about, when I go back 2 years the first time I crossed 6 figures in my business, it was the exact same experience. Like for so long, it felt so far. And then it happened. And I was like, oh, here it is. and so even though I had been like practicing the feeling of it and knowing that it was that experience of like far, 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 it's here. And you know, pregnancy is going to be like that too. It's going to be like, it's not here, it's not here, it's here. Okay, here, it's here.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've had, I know we've had our clients have big manifestations that were like, and the comment was like, it felt so far, but it was right around the corner.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that is the way it is. I mean, and that's the way my relationship was. It didn't feel far. Because like I said, I did a lot of practice and learning the new skills because that 20% went on for a while. Like I practiced the new skills of being good and loving my life in the experience of what I was learning. And I also learned to find those things and celebrate like, oh, that's going to be an important question in my relationship or that conversation or that experience. Ooh, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to have that. I really learned to celebrate that. But it did when there's like no, like, you know, not even a prospect anywhere because you're on that street looking down and you can't see that person around the corner. It does feel far. It can feel far. And you just have to love and live into that and surrender to that. Maybe it is far, and know that it's probably a lot closer than you think.
Yeah. That's a great thought. That feels really good. I think something else that has helped me too is I have to look a little more closely and acknowledge how I am growing and shifting. So I might be in that 20% and I have to pay a little more attention to how I am becoming and being satisfied in life and how I am shifting and expanding in those ways. And the other thing I wanted to say about that 20%, to me, you still have to do the work because it's your job then to be able to receive. Like, so Cass said, you know, you could have your head down as you're walking down around the corner, but consciously doing this, you have your head up so you can see it, so you can receive when to turn left and right or when to call this person or that person or follow this idea or that one. And that, I think that's really some people just don't think that's enough, but that being open and being that vessel and receiving this guidance from your 20% is that 20%.
Yes. I love that you said head up because I have this vision like head up, strolling down the street, like loving it, maybe having your favorite music on in the sunshine, right? Like keeping doing your work and keeping yourself and your life amazing.
Yeah.
And just taking in what comes in that 20%.
I had that question the other day of like, is it enough to just keep living life fully? And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
It will all come from there. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, so I think we really wanted to kind of highlight how it can feel, or firstly, because or if it feels far, it's okay. It's not a bad thing. And it can feel close and far. And to let that be perfect.
Yes. And to take comfort that when it comes, it will be so close. It will be there. And that happens literally in an instant.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go down the pathway of what, time and how that works, because literally it's here,
Right? It is here. Yes.
Yeah.
That might be another episode, because I love that thought too, which might be why, it was easier for me to be patient in the 20%.
Yeah.
Because I
literally is
understand
right around the corner. Anything else you want to wrap up with, Cass?
that. I think we covered it all.
Awesome. Well, have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Go be awesome! Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.